Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. I am Marjorie Studio, and now I'm going to discuss the continuation of our report, which is the elements of curriculum planning. One of its elements is assessment and evaluation. Assessment is how teachers check what students have learned during a lesson. The teacher uses it before and during instruction. It helps them see which topics students understand well and which ones they need more help with. Assessment also refers to know the strengths and weaknesses of the student. For example, when a teacher gives a short quiz after a lesson, it helps them know if students understand the topic or if they need to explain it again in a different way. Also, teachers can adjust their teaching approaches and strategies during the teacher learning process. Evaluation is about making judgment the teacher uses after instruction. It is about checking if the whole teaching plan or curriculum is working well. It looks at whether students are meeting learning goals and if the teaching methods and materials are helpful. For example, if many students in a school are failing in a specific subject, the school might check the books, teaching style, or lesson plans to see if they need to make changes to improve learning. There are three types of assessment. First is the formative assessment or ongoing feedback. Second is the summative assessment or final evaluation. And third is the alternative assessment or creative methods. Formative assessment is a way for teachers to check students' learning while they are still studying a lesson. It helps teachers see what students already understand and what they still need help with. Based on the results, teachers can change their teaching methods or give extra support to students who are struggling. At the same time, students can also see which parts they need to improve and focus on. So, ang teacher ani maghatag og short activity or group work para makita kung kasabot ba ang mga estudyante sa gihatag na lesson. If makita sa teacher nga daghan bitaw sa klase ang galibog pa, ang best way na himuon sa teacher is iyang i-change ang way sa iyang pagtudlo. Either maghatag og laing example para mas sayon masabtan sa mga bata. So this way, dili lang ang teacher ang maka-adjust, but also sa mga students pod na ma-assess nila ilang kaugalingon to know unsay ilang buhaton to improve. So here are the formative assessment examples. One is quizzes. These are short tests that help teachers check if students understand the lessons. Since they are low stakes, they don't affect final grades much but give a quick idea of students' progress. For classroom discussions, teachers observe how students participate in discussions to see if they understand the topic. It also allows students to learn from each other. The students share their ideas and the teacher guides the discussion to clear up misunderstandings. For exit tickets, before leaving the class, students answer a quick question to show what they learned. This helps teachers know if they need to review the topic in the next lesson. For think, pair, share, students discuss their ideas with a partner or ilang seatmate, and then after ana, they share it with the whole class ug unsa ilang nasabtan. This type of assessment helps build confidence and deeper understanding. For self and peer assessments, students check their own work or a classmate's work based on a specific guidelines. This method helps them reflect on their learning and to improve. Example, students may swap papers with a partner or ilang seatmate lang gihapon, then they can give feedback and suggest ways to improve each other's work. These methods help both teachers and students track progress and make learning more interactive and effective. To make formative assessments effective, teachers should use them frequently but in a way nga dili sab makastress sa students. Instead of making students worry about sa ilang mga grades, these assessments should be low pressure and focus on learning. This way, students can improve without feeling anxious. Another important practice is giving constructive feedback instead of just scores. Teachers should explain what students did well and what they can improve. This helps students learn better rather than just worrying about grades. Lastly, using different types of assessments like quizzes, discussions, or peer reviews helps accommodate different learning styles. Some students learn best by writing, others by talking, and some by doing hands-on activities. By using a variety of methods, every student gets a fair chance to understand the lesson. Summative assessment is a way to measure how much a student has learned at the end of a lesson, unit, or school year. Important ni siya nga klase sa assessment kay diri makita si teachers if nakuha ba sa students ang learning objectives. Usually, summative assessments come in the form of final exams, big projects, or standardized tests. Unlike formative assessments, which help students improve while learning, summative assessments focus on evaluating what students have already mastered. This type of assessment is also used to determine grades and make academic decisions like passing a student to the next grade level or identifying who needs extra support. Summative assessment examples. 1. Final exam. This is a big test given at the end of a course that covers everything students have learned. It checks if students remember and understand all the important lessons. Next is the standardized test. These are official tests given to students in different schools or regions to compare their performance. They help measure how well students are learning based on national or regional standards. Examples diri sa Pilipinas. Students take the National Achievement Test or NAT to check their knowledge in specific subjects. Next is the final projects. Instead of a written test, students complete a big project that applies what they have learned in a creative or practical way. Example, the teacher may ask the students to create a research paper or make a case study. Next is oral presentations. In this type of assessment, students explain a topic by speaking in front of the class. It helps teachers see if students truly understand the subject. Lastly, cumulative portfolios. This is a collection of a student's best work over time, showing their progress and improvement in a subject. It includes essays, projects, and other activities done throughout the course. The teacher may ask the students to keep a portfolio to show how their skills and understanding have developed from the beginning to the end of the year. These summative assessments help teachers see if students have mastered their lessons and are ready to move on to the next level of learning. To make summative assessments fair and effective, teachers should follow some best practices. First, they should use clear grading rubrics so students know exactly what is expected from them. This helps students prepare better and understand how they will be graded. Second, using different types of assessments is important because students have different strengths. Some are good at tests, while others do better in projects or presentations. Lastly, assessment should match learning objectives to measure real understanding. This means tests, projects, or presentations should truly reflect what students were supposed to learn, not just random memorization. Next is the alternative assessment. Alternative assessment is a way of checking student learning without using traditional tests or exams. Instead, it allows students to show what they know through creative and practical activities. This type of assessment helps students develop critical thinking and creativity while making learning more meaningful. For example, imbis nga written test ang buhaton, the teachers let the student to make a video presentation, portfolio, or project aron mapakita ang ilang pagsabot sa usa ka lesson. So this approach is also personalized because it lets students express their knowledge in ways that fit their skills and strengths. Instead of just memorizing facts, students get to apply what they have learned in a real world or hands-on way. Alternative assessments let students show what they have learned in different and creative ways, rather than just taking tests. For example, portfolios are collections of a student's work over time, showing how much they have improved. Performance-based assessments let students demonstrate their skill, like acting out a historical event or doing a science experiment. Journals help students reflect on what they have learned and think critically about their progress. With peer and self-evaluation said, students assess their work or their classmates' work, which helps them become more responsible and independent learners. Lastly, project-based learning allows students to solve real-world problems, like creating a business plan or designing an environmental campaign. So these methods make learning more engaging, meaningful, and practical, helping students develop important skills beyond memorization. To make alternative assessments fair and effective, teachers should use clear rubrics so students understand how their work will be graded. Kung klaro ang criteria, mas dali para sa estudyante nga masabtan kung unsang ilang buhaton ug asa sila dapat mag-improve. Teachers should also provide different options to match students' learning styles. Some students learn best through writing, others through hands-on projects or presentations. Lastly, reflection is important because it helps students think about what they learned and how they can improve. For example, after a project, a student can write about what went well, what was challenging, and what they would do differently next time. This makes learning more personal, meaningful, and useful for their future growth. Importance of assessment and evaluation. Assessment and evaluation are very important in curriculum planning because they help teachers understand if students are learning well. Assessments like quizzes and projects show what students know and where they need help. Evaluation looks at the whole teaching process to see if the lessons and activities are working. If students are struggling, teachers can make changes to improve the lessons. This helps create a better learning experience and ensures that the curriculum meets the needs of all students. Thank you for listening.